Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Joffrey Noodle Legs here today. Today I've got a little unboxing for you. I've not had one of these for a while. This is just my new baby from my tarantula collection. It is a spiderling, I believe, but it is the first time I've had this in my sort of collection. I've got this from Spar Spiders after a lot of people recommending them to me. Now, we are Friday today. This was posted out on Wednesday, so it's taken 2 days to get here, and it's really cold, guys. So I don't know what condition the spider's going to be in. You know, it's not too happy that it's taken that long, you know, for it to arrive. When they post it out, you really hope it arrives next day. Just simply because, you know, you want your spider to be with you and in best of health. So we'll open the box. We've got the Spar Spiders card there, as you may see. Very nice. Just going to get a little bag, guys, just to pop in some of these packet peanuts. There's loads of them in here, which I'm quite glad, because I'm hoping this would have kept my spider warm in here. There we go, we've got the spider. Just lift it out. Just seeing if there's any, hopefully, I'm hoping they put a heat pad in there. It's not warm in this box at all. Sadly, it was quite cold last night. And no, there's no heat pack. So I'm not going to be holding out much hope, really, to be honest, for the spider. I say, because it's been out there in 2 nights in the cold, and the temperatures at the moment are like sort of 3 degrees. So we'll just have to wait and see, won't we, when we unbox it. Anyway, hopefully in here, what I should have in here is a Carabiner Versicolor. Okay, let's hope that the Versicolor is in good health. So these are a New World arboreal species. So I went and brought a special sort of enclosure for it, which I have actually made up. I'll show you that now, and it's this one. I've actually put this one together. It came in kit form, so I've made that one together. So what we're going to do now, guys, before we unbox the spider, we'll do the setup first. So let's do that now, shall we? So here we go. I'm not sure what you're going to see, but we're going to do a little setup for the baby. I'll try my best not to knock the camera. First, we put a little bit of substrate in the bottom. These are arboreal, so I don't need to go too crazy with the substrate, to be honest with you. So I'm only going to put a couple of handfuls in here. To be honest, I think that's going to be ample. Still quite a nice sort of depth to it. It's quite nice. So that's enough in there. Got some cork bark, which I'm going to pop in. Let me have a little look at the shape of it, see how I want it, see if I want it to go in like so. Yeah, I'm going to pop it into the corner. I've got another little bit of cork bark, which I'm going to pop in like that too, just to give it like a little bit of ease. You know what I'm like, guys, I like to give it as much as I can in their little environment. Pop a little bit of greenery in there as well, just a sort of bit of fake plant, something for it to web up if it wants to web up. Going to pop a little bit of moss in there for it. Now these species require more ventilation than they do more than they would require humidity. So I'm going to try and do my best to make it as possibly, you know, to make it a ventilation. That's why I've given this enclosure here, because it's got some really nice vent holes. I've got a little water dish which I'm going to try and slip down in here if I can. Whoops, maybe it's not the best place to put it. Let me move some of the moss over maybe into that little corner. Okay, now I've got the little water dish again. These little water dishes, they're ideal for little spiderlings. These are from little tattoo ink pots. So I'll put that in there. Just pop a little drop of water into that water bowl. Missing it altogether. There we go. There's some water in there, just in case the baby's thirsty on its little outing. And I'm going to put in just one more little thing. I'm going to put in a little bit of leaf litter, which I'm going to crumble up into small amounts if possible. First of all, I'm going to move the bark forward and pop some down the back. There we go. Just in case the spider wants to use this leaf litter for any kind of webbing it might want to use it for. Just want to make sure that that moss is away from the little water bowl. I'll pretty much put the moss and stuff in these bits for the spider to web up more than anything else, than actually requires it. But I'll just put some little leaf litter in for it, so it's got some sort of nice sort of textures and hopefully things it might want to use for its webbing. That looks okay. Just making sure that water bowl's nicely filled up. Yeah, looks fine. So what I'll do, guys, I'll bring you over and I'll show you the little setup. There we go. So as you can see, nothing really spectacular, but it's got two pieces of cork bark. I've tried to sort of wedge them into the corner just so it can go behind there if it wants to, or in front of it, whatever it wants to do. And that is the little setup. So what we've got to do now is just hopefully see the baby's fine, and we'll try and move it over into its new enclosure. So let's do that now then, shall we? So I brought you into the enclosure as close as I sort of can. So the only thing we've really got to do now is pray that the baby's alright. So what we're going to do first, guys, is take off the lid. You won't see anything for a few seconds, guys, while I sort of take the lid off the container. And we're going to try and do this as much as possible over the container, over the enclosure, if I can. Okay, well, the whole thing has come out, which is quite good. So what we've got to try and do now, guys, is sort of fathom out where the tissue begins. Oh, the spider's come out. Had to drop it quickly because I do not want the spider to go running out. There he is, see him? See if we can zoom in for you. There we go, baby. Try and encourage it to come off the tissue. There we go. It's now off the tissue, so I can now take the tissue out. Tiny little thing. When it says on the site it's sort of like 1 to 2 centimeters, but apparently I was being told that it's actually going to be a bit bigger than that, but it's not. It's about 1 to 2 centimeters. So this enclosure will last it quite a while. So what I'm going to do, guys, is just pop the lid down on the enclosure and see if we can see the spider for you. Here we go. See if we pop a bit of light on. So it's in the enclosure. It is alive, thank goodness. Obviously, I was really concerned because it's been out and about for 2 days in this really cold weather at the moment, and it seems okay. It seems to have, you know, it popped out of its little couldn't wait to get out of its little let's see if I can open the lid, guys. Coming from the top. Oops. So you guys can see it a bit better. Yes, hopefully we can come in just a little bit more. And it seems to be okay. So that's a bit of a relief, considering obviously a bit of a concern. Like I said, it's been sort of stuck out overnight in the cold. It's about 2 degrees today out there, so it's freezing. But luckily it's arrived okay, and it's in its new enclosure. Like I said, this has come from Spa Spiders, so I'd like to thank them very much for sending the spider to me. I bought it because they had an offer on online on Scott's Inverts night. So if you don't know Scott's Inverts channel, please go and check his channel out for me, please, guys. Great little channel. Well, it's not a little channel; it's quite a big channel. He's got quite a large following compared to my little humble following. But there we go. I want to see if I can get in a bit closer for you. Some beautiful colorations. It's these are a beautiful spider. When there are slings like this, they are blue, but their colorations change with sort of like every molt, and you will see them sort of changing as they progress. This is quite a tiny little thing. Like I said, on the actual I've spoke to a few people on it, and they said that he's saying that a lot of these spiders, although they're down as like 1 to 2 centimeters, they are a lot bigger than that. This one isn't. It's about just over 1.5 centimeters, 2 centimeters. So it's in quite a large enclosure for it, but it's be fine. It's not anything it can't handle. You know, as long as you put food for it in there that it can find. At this size, I'll probably be giving it pre-killed until I've seen it molt out and I'm happy with it. So that's what I'll be doing with it, feeding it every sort of 3 days. I'll leave it a couple of days or so to settle in before I give it any sort of food. I want it to have a little wander around and find its new home and find where it wants to be, and then I can sort of put in the new sort of like food for it. But at the moment, as you can see, it's just sitting there on the on the little bit of moss. This is why I've put the moss and stuff in there, because I thought, well, give it that option to use whatever it wants to do. So we pop the lid down, guys. Let's see if we can turn the little baby around. Here we go. Just so I can pop this down, so I'm not, so I'm going to be a bit higgledy-piggledy for a few seconds while I lower this down. Sorry about that, guys. As always in my video, it wouldn't be a Joffrey Noodle Eggs video, would it, unless I dropped it. The camera. Anyway, the camera sort of dropped and died on me, and it's still moving now. See, it's crazy, this camera. So yeah, so on this site they said, oh, you know, it's going to be at least probably double the size of what it's advertised. Well, this isn't. It's actually probably, it's either the right size or just under. It's about a centimetre. So yeah, when I thought it was going to be like double the size, I've got like a larger enclosure. Otherwise I would have popped it into something like that. But I'm not going to remove it. It's fine, it will stay in there. I'll just give it a day or so to settle, and when it's settled down, I'll find where it is, and I'll pre-kill some food, and I'll put the food really close to where the spider is so it can find it. And that's what I'll do for a molt or two until it's sort of molted out and gained another 1 or 2 centimeters in size. But yeah, it's fine, and it's arrived, so that's all. I was more concerned about that because it's been out and about for 2 days. I thought originally it was down to the postal strike, but apparently that's called off, so it's not. But there we are. It's here now, and it's in its little new home. I'll give a little shout out to a few channels out there. If you can check them out for me, guys. Mark the Spider Guy, RS Designs, Spider Mum 1978, Unseen Universe, Unusual Pets, Tina Deep Blue Sea, Incredible Inverts Other Animals, Scott's Inverts, Robbie's Talking Teas, Amy's Web, Tom's Big Spiders, Dave's Little Beasties. All amazing channels, guys. Moon Over Miami. Please check them all out for me. These are all fantastic channels that I would highly recommend to go and watch. Really cool. And again, I'd like to thank again Spar Spiders for sending the little tiny little spiderling to me. So that's here now, safe and sound. There we are, guys. Until next time, you look after yourselves, look after one another, and I really hope that I'll see you all soon.